This earlobe actually was measured years ago. It's like a millimeter longer than this one.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Ms. Burnett, this is the honor of a lifetime. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Jake. How are you?
I'm doing so well, and I'm so excited to talk with you. I'm going to jump into this. For years between your theater work and then the Carol Burnett show, you worked in front of a live audience. You made an acting choice, and then you immediately knew what the reaction to the audience was going to be. With Palm Royale, you don't really have that live audience there. So I'm curious, as an actor, what is the difference between when you're making an acting choice in front of a live audience and when they're not there?
I think it's the same. It's the same choice. The thing is, you just don't wait for laughs. You have to keep going, and that's the difference between being in front of a movie camera, or doing a movie or a television without a live audience. I love having a live audience. I mean, that was always fun, and they always told us what was good and what wasn't.
You are always going to get a laugh. So you always wait no matter what.
You have to barrel through. You have to play the moment. You can't say, "Oh, they're going to laugh here," because that's not always the case. I remember Some Like It Hot that Billy Wilder did with Jack Lemmon and Marilyn Monroe and Tony Curtis. Sometimes you couldn't hear the rest of the dialogue because the audience was laughing so hard. You had to go back and see it again. But that was Billy Wilder. He said, they're not always going to laugh where you think they are. So you have to just keep playing the truth.
I love that. I love that. Speaking of the truth, I feel like so much of Palm Royale is about how sometimes we change when we worry about what other people think of us. I'm sort of curious, when you were finding success early in your career, how did you battle that? How did you combat that? Did you ever concern yourself with the opinions of other people?
Well, I didn't. It didn't change what I did, but you always remember the bad reviews, And I got quite a few, yeah. But then you say, well, just keep going. You're not always going to please everybody at all. It ain't going to happen. So just play the truth, play what you feel.
You're very good at that. I was wondering if you would allow me a nerdy question, because I am a fan, and I'm a fan of history, and I'm a fan of pop culture. I was wondering if you would take me back to 1955 when you were debuting on Paul Winchell's show, the very first time you ever tugged your ear for your grandmother. Do you remember the first time you did it?
Yes. Yeah.
I'd love to know just what you remember about that moment, and more importantly, how she reacted to it.
Well, she was in California. I was in New York, and I called her and I said, Nanny, I'm going to be on the and it was live, Paul Winchell's show next Saturday morning. And she said, well, say hello to me. I said, I don't think NBC is going to let me say hi, Nanny, but I tell you what, I'll pull my ear, which meant, hi, Nanny, I love you, I'm fine. And so I did that. So every time I was on television after that, like when I did the Gary Moore show, when we took a bow, I would just take a bow and do that. And so it just became a thing, and even after she passed away, I would do it on my show. This earlobe actually was measured years ago. It's like a millimeter longer than this one. Yankee on it all those years.
I have to, whenever I started in local TV, my grandmother used to say, could you just do the Carol Burnett? She would say, I know you can't, so just do the Carol Burnett. So she has since passed, but I used to do that out of respect for you and for her.
Oh, that's great.
I'll cut you loose on this, and this is a big question. You've seen television change in a way that most of us will never understand. I'd love for you to compare your first day on the set of on the Carol Burnett show to your last day on Palm Royale. I'm curious, what do you think are the most standout differences to you personally, or the industry, or just in form of storytelling?
They're totally different because of being on tape, live on tape is with a live audience. That's one thing, and then doing a movie, and in essence, that's what Palm Royale is, without an audience. They're two totally different things, but you still play them the same way, I think. I remember when we did when the Burnett show was on, there wasn't VCRs or TiVo or anything. So people stayed home that Saturday night to watch that big lineup. And as a result, because there were only 3 networks, all of us got an audience of maybe 30 million people. Now, it's a big deal if you get 10, 10 or 12, because there's just so many choices. And also back then, now a lot of times shows want to be edgy or, have bad language. I'm not a prude. I don't mind bad language if it comes out of the character. But if it's just to get a laugh, I don't. But you watch the Dick Van Dyke Show, watch Mary Tyler Moore, watch Bob Newhart. There's not one blue thing in it, and they hold up today because it's all character driven, and they're brilliant comedic actors. So you don't need to be scatological to get a laugh. And today, sometimes, more often than not, again, they're edgy just to be edgy, and that I don't buy, because it's like cheap laughs to me.
I agree with you. Ms. Burnett, they're pulling me out of here. I just want to end by saying thank you for just a lifetime of laughter, for teaching me what humor was. I love you so much, and it is more than an honor to be able to speak with you. Thank you so, so much for your time.
Thank you, darling, very much.
Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.